We got
I
this,
don't want to
Max.
do this anymore.
No, we got this, Max.
No, I don't.
You're a champion.
I don't have it.
You're a champion. Stop it.
I don't have it.
Stop it.
Stop.
Emergency lights outside the gates, security teams responding, a luxury estate once again surrounded by flashing vehicles. But this time, the situation felt different. According to Nicki Minaj, these repeated incidents weren't random. She suggested that someone powerful might be working behind the scenes to damage her reputation and disturb her peace. Now picture this. You're Nicki Minaj, over 100 million records sold worldwide, countless chart records broken, a career built on dominance, consistency, and cultural impact. Success on that level brings wealth, enough to purchase a $20 million estate in Hidden Hills, one of the most private gated communities in California, a neighborhood known for celebrity residents, including members of the Kardashian family. It's the kind of place designed for safety and discretion. But instead of privacy, there were repeated emergency responses at her property. Multiple calls were made to authorities reporting serious incidents at her residence, allegations that demanded immediate attention. Each time, emergency services arrived prepared for a high-risk situation, and each time, investigators found no evidence of any crime. No emergency, no victims, no signs of danger. For Minaj, this became a disturbing pattern. Years earlier, in February 2017, her Hollywood Hills home had been burglarized while she was away. Reports stated that valuables worth approximately $175,000 were taken, and the property was vandalized. Authorities investigated, but no suspects were publicly identified. While she wasn't physically present at the time, the incident signaled that her homes were being targeted. Fast forward to 2023, and the situation escalated. In June, authorities responded to a report alleging harm involving her family at the Hidden Hills residence. Deputies conducted a full investigation but found no evidence supporting the claims. The report was determined to be false. Less than 24 hours later, another emergency call was placed, again prompting a response. Once more, nothing was found. Then in August, a similar report triggered yet another large-scale law enforcement response to the property. After investigation, officials confirmed there was no active incident. 3 separate false reports in just a few months. Swatting, the act of making fake emergency calls to provoke an armed response, is considered a serious offense because it can create dangerous misunderstandings. It places families and responding officers at risk. Minaj publicly addressed the incidents, stating she believed the calls were intentional and coordinated rather than random pranks. She spoke about hiring private investigators to help identify whoever was responsible and called for accountability. At one point, she even referenced the name of Jay-Z, implying that powerful industry figures might be involved, though no public evidence has confirmed such claims. What remains undisputed is this: the emergency calls were false, the investigations found no wrongdoing, and someone repeatedly targeted her household. The bigger question is, who was behind it and what was the motive? And that's where the story becomes even more complicated.
My home swatted twice with drawn. They magically, no one seemed to find the person.
That word, magically, carries serious weight. Nicki Minaj wasn't describing coincidence, she was suggesting influence, the kind of power that, in her view, could cause investigations to quietly stall and leads to disappear. She has implied that someone with significant industry reach may be ensuring that no clear answers ever surface, though no official findings have confirmed that accusation. Supporters point to the timing. The false emergency reports didn't appear randomly, they say. They seem to happen during moments when Nicki was publicly criticizing specific figures within the music business. To understand the tension, you have to look at her long and complicated history with Jay-Z, whose legal name is Sean Corey Carter, and the entertainment company he founded, Roc Nation. Their connection dates back more than a decade. In 2010, both artists appeared on Kanye West's track, Monster. Nicki's verse became one of the most talked about moments on the record. Many fans and critics praise her performance as unforgettable. While there has never been public confirmation of personal tension stemming from that collaboration, industry chatter over the years has suggested competitive energy may have developed behind the scenes. By 2012, Nicki openly expressed in interviews that she intended to surpass some of rap's biggest icons, including Jay-Z, in legacy and cultural impact. That level of ambition naturally positions artists in rivalry, especially at the top of the genre. However, according to Minaj's own public statements, the real conflict emerged years later, and it involved business. When Jay-Z relaunched the streaming service Tidal in 2015, it was introduced as an artist-owned platform. Several major musicians were presented as equity partners. Reports at the time suggested certain artists would receive ownership percentages in exchange for exclusive content and promotional support. Nicki stood prominently at the launch event, aligning herself with the platform and helping promote its vision. Fast forward to 2021, when Tidal was sold to Square, a company co-founded by Jack Dorsey. This is where Minaj says problems began. She has publicly claimed that she never received full documentation regarding her reported equity stake. She further alleged that when the sale was completed, the financial offer she received did not reflect what she believed her percentage should have been worth. It's important to clarify, these claims come directly from Nicki Minaj's public statements. There has been no public court ruling confirming misconduct related to her allegations. Still, she did not remain silent. She voiced her frustration openly, questioning the transparency of the deal and suggesting she felt misled. Her response was not subtle, it was direct, emotional, and highly public. From her perspective, this wasn't just about money, it was about fairness, ownership, and respect within an industry where power dynamics often operate behind closed doors. Whether the timing of these business disputes and the repeated emergency incidents at her home is coincidence or something more, that remains unproven. But what is undeniable is this: Nicki Minaj believes she was wronged. She has said so clearly, and the fallout has continued to fuel speculation ever since.
So you're saying that brother billionaire would use a legal loophole to not pay a black woman that upheld her part of the bargain, then threaten her that if she didn't sign a random paper in 24 hours, she would lose out on a measly $1 million because that's what y'all were offering? I'm so glad I said nope. Scare tactics and manipulation to steal what I work for.
Take a moment to process the scale of the accusation. Nicki Minaj has publicly suggested that a powerful entertainment executive used business technicalities in a way that left her feeling financially sidelined. She has implied that she was pressured to resolve matters quickly, under terms she believed were unfair. To be clear, these are her allegations. There has been no public court ruling confirming wrongdoing in relation to her claims. In July 2025, she took to X and stated that she believed she was owed between $100 and $200 million. Critics questioned why such a dispute would play out on social media rather than in court. Supporters, known as the Barbs, amplified her message across platforms, repeating the phrase that she was owed both money and an apology. But according to Minaj, the streaming equity issue was only one piece of a larger pattern. She has also alleged that she was prevented from releasing the Pink Print exclusively through Tidal, claiming that the decision led to leaks and financial losses. No public documentation has confirmed that claim, but she has repeatedly referenced it in her statements. In another accusation, Minaj claimed that a beat she intended to use for her 2018 track with The Weeknd was reassigned to Beyoncé instead, despite her belief that the production had already been secured. There has been no public legal confirmation supporting that allegation. She also referenced a collaboration with Nas that, according to her, was halted due to legal complications. Minaj has implied lingering industry tensions may have influenced that situation. Again, these are claims she has made publicly. No verified court findings have established misconduct connected to those events. Taken together, Minaj has painted a picture of long-standing business conflict and personal rivalry within the upper levels of the music industry. And then there's the most serious implication of all. She didn't just speak about contract disputes. She has suggested that the repeated false emergency reports at her home were not random, that they were connected to the same powerful figures she has accused in business matters. It's important to emphasize, no public evidence has confirmed that link. Authorities have not named any industry executive as responsible for those incidents. But in Nicki Minaj's view, the harassment and the business disputes are part of a broader pattern. Whether coincidence, conflict, or something else entirely, that remains unproven. What is certain is this: the accusations are bold, the stakes are enormous, and the tension between artistry, ownership, and power continues to unfold in real time.
Isn't it funny how they kept trying to say Desiree Perez's black son-in-law was abusing her daughter to get him falsely imprisoned? Remember the 3 times my home was swatted, claiming a man in the home had a gun? Does this?
Nicki Minaj has suggested that the same playbook keeps being used. In her view, false reports, fabricated emergencies, and pressure tactics are not random, they're coordinated. She has implied that influential figures can weaponize systems against artists who refuse to fall in line. Whether those claims could ever be proven in court is another matter entirely. No public ruling has confirmed such accusations. But Nicki's argument has been consistent. She believes there's a pattern, and that pattern, she says, leads back to powerful industry structures. When she talks about conflict, she isn't framing it as a simple rap feud. In her telling, it's about control, about who gets opportunities, who gets visibility, and who gets quietly pushed aside. At the center of her criticism is Roc Nation, the management and entertainment company founded by Jay-Z and led in recent years by CEO Desiree Perez. Minaj has publicly accused the company and its leadership of working against her interests. She has even used strong language, alleging that individuals were planted within her professional or personal circles to undermine her. It is important to note, these are her allegations. No verified court findings have established proof of organized sabotage. Still, the seriousness of her claims elevated the conversation beyond music rivalry. In her narrative, this isn't just about diss tracks or competitive chart positions. She describes something more systemic, an imbalance of power within the industry. One of the most visible flashpoints in this broader tension involved the Super Bowl. Roc Nation entered into a formal partnership with the National Football League to help oversee major entertainment initiatives, including the halftime show. That partnership is publicly documented. When Kendrick Lamar was announced as a future halftime performer instead of Lil Wayne, particularly with the event connected to New Orleans, Wayne's hometown, Nicki publicly criticized the decision. She framed it as deliberate and personal. Her comments suggested that she believed certain artists were being favored while others were being sidelined. She was not alone in voicing frustration. Birdman, founder of Cash Money Records and Lil Wayne's longtime mentor, also publicly expressed disappointment regarding the situation. Minaj further alleged that artists affiliated with Roc Nation, including Megan Thee Stallion, were being elevated while she was being excluded from key opportunities. Again, these statements reflect her perspective. No independent authority has confirmed coordinated exclusion. In Nicki's telling, it isn't about being ignored, it's about being replaced. She has described what she believes is a broader strategy, suggesting that when criticism surfaces, distractions follow, that narratives shift, that headlines change. These are serious claims. They remain unproven, but they continue to fuel debate about power, politics, and influence at the highest levels of the music industry. And as long as Nicki Minaj keeps speaking publicly about it, the conversation isn't going away.
Anytime Roc Nation is in the news for something they don't want you to know, few things will happen. 1, Will Smith is going to appear. 2, a famous person is announced dead. 3, their allies will begin to post and say nasty things about the Queen. 4, Lace Z will pop up looking dumb.
Nicki Minaj has described what she believes is a 4-step distraction pattern. According to her, whenever Roc Nation faces public criticism, a sequence of diversions follows. She has claimed that high-profile celebrity appearances, major headline-grabbing news, coordinated online pushback from industry figures, and carefully timed public moments involving Jay-Z tend to surface in close proximity to controversy. There is no verified evidence confirming the existence of such a coordinated system. However, Minaj and many of her supporters argue that the pattern appears consistent. They believe the timing is too precise to be a coincidence. Whether conspiracy or coincidence, the conviction behind her claims is unmistakable. Minaj has insisted she isn't making vague accusations. In her telling, she's outlining what she believes is a repeatable strategy, one she says she has observed unfold multiple times in real time. Meanwhile, the false emergency reports targeting her Hidden Hills residence continued. In April 2025, a non-emergency call reportedly described an assault and shooting involving a woman matching Nicki Minaj's description. The caller allegedly added detailed information about suspects to increase the urgency of the response. Authorities arrived prepared for a serious incident. Investigators later determined the report was false. At the time of the call, Minaj was reportedly on the East Coast, thousands of miles away. This marked the 4th confirmed swatting incident connected to her home within roughly 2 years. Swatting is considered a dangerous crime because it can escalate rapidly and create life-threatening misunderstandings. California law provides penalties, including fines and possible jail time, particularly if someone is harmed during a response. Minaj publicly expressed fear for her family's safety, stating that emergency responses had occurred near her child on multiple occasions. She also appealed for attention from California Governor Gavin Newsom, later claiming she did not receive the response she hoped for. There has been no public evidence showing direct involvement by any political figure in the swatting incidents. Some online supporters attempted to connect broader political relationships and industry ties to the situation, but again, no official investigation has substantiated those claims. It is also publicly known that due to her husband's Kenneth Patty's legal registry status, certain address details may be more accessible than for other celebrities, a factor that can increase vulnerability to harassment. However, that does not explain who made the calls. Other celebrities, including Jennifer Aniston and Lil Wayne, have also experienced swatting incidents. What stands out in Nicki's case is the frequency and timing. In mid-2025, Minaj posted cryptic messages suggesting she had further revelations about Roc Nation's internal operations. She also alleged financial instability within the company, claiming distractions were being used to shift public focus. There is no publicly confirmed financial report validating those claims. She further suggested that individuals connected to powerful industry entities were monitoring her tour activity, allegations that remain unproven. As tensions escalated, some commentators, including Joe Budden and DJ Vlad, criticized her public statements, arguing that she was isolating herself within the industry. But Minaj appeared unfazed. By early 2026, the conflict intensified dramatically. Following criticism surrounding the Grammy Awards, Minaj launched a series of explosive social media posts aimed directly at Jay-Z and Roc Nation leadership. She shared old photographs of Jay-Z alongside younger female artists and made serious allegations regarding past conduct. Those allegations quickly spread online. However, subsequent fact-checking by journalists indicated that the individuals in the photos were adult at the time the images were taken. The claims were widely disputed, and no court has found Jay-Z guilty of the misconduct Minaj implied. Still, the post reached millions before corrections circulated. Screenshots spread rapidly, intensifying the feud between fan bases, the Barbs and Beyoncé's Beehive, and drawing widespread media attention. Minaj also directly named Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, criticizing her leadership in blunt terms. At that point, the dispute had moved far beyond music. It had become a public war of narratives about power, control, credibility, and influence in one of the most competitive industries in the world. What's undeniable is this: the accusations are severe, the evidence remains contested, and the fallout continues to ripple across music, media, and fan culture.
Desiree Perez, you got bigger fish to fry, bookie. Conspiracy, false imprisonment, civil rights violation. Oh, nation, y'all